What is up, Dan K Show fans? Another week, another Dan K Show, another chance for you to talk to us, for us to talk to you, for us to talk hockey. Hockey, it's the best thing in the world. Lucas, name 3 things that are better than hockey. He can't do it, I can't do it either, so we gotta go to Dan K's 3 things, but first, we gotta put up that cool intro video. Let's take it away.
Welcome back, folks. Before we get into Dan K's 3 things, I'm jumping in with a little commentary of my own. If you're watching the Dan K Show right now, go just a little bit under the video, hit the subscribe button to subscribe to the USPHL YouTube page, and then go just over to the right and hit that little bell. That lets you guys know when we put new videos up. It lets us connect with you a little bit better, so take a few seconds and do that right now. Dan? They should have done it, so now you can go.
I'll take it away. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube page because that helps us a lot and it helps you to watch us better. Let's go to our 3 things thing. Number 1, the monarchy marches on, and apparently the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs and the South Shore Kings, who got off to slow starts, didn't get the memo that this was supposed to be a tough season for them in the NCDC. In their last 11 games, the New Hampshire Monarchs are 9-2 after a 1-6 start. Ryan Frew is no longer fruming down there in New Hampshire. Then we go to the South Shore Kings with 6 wins in a row, and who leads the way but a premier goaltender, a premier netminder in Cal Wilcox. Cal Wilcox comes in from the Premier the exact way this is all supposed to work, right? The guy comes up, he's brought up to the NCDC from the Premier builds him, the NCDC showcases him there, and he has been lights out, wins a Player of the Week award. Cal Wilcox leading those South Shore Kings to his 6-game winning streak. Thing number 2, Dan K Dailies. You may have seen them already if you follow along with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, but we will continue 5 days a week. I said the Beatles, they love you 8 days a week. We'll love you 5 days a week. I mean, we work 7 days a week, but we'll love you 5 days a week. Monday through Friday, you will have daily video content coming from the Dan K Show, covering the topics we can't cover here. It's only a 30-minute show, at least when Dan doesn't ramble too much in 3 things. Let me stop rambling. Thing number 3, when Ducks attack. We stayed at a Marriott with a few people on a vacation in Miami, Florida, and there was a family trying to grill who said, "These ducks are attacking us. You gotta get rid of them. These ducks are a menace." They used the word menace. Dan K shouldn't have said anything, kind of might have jumped in and said, "I think they're just ducks. I think they just kind of want to eat your bread." They were mad. Never jump into an angry person's conversation at a Marriott. Never talk bad about ducks. But Dell's Ducks, big time win. They sweep the Hudson Havoc, and that is where we start today's show. Lucas, a 4-0 shutout in Game 1, and a ridiculous come-from-behind 4-3 victory. How good of a weekend was it to be a Ducks fan and a Ducks player?
Oh, it's a great weekend. You know, we always talk about how those splits are so hard to kind of figure out, you know, with which is the better team in a weekend, this, that, and the other thing. And I think the Ducks did our job for us when not only did they shut the Havoc out in the first game, but that come-from-behind win. It's that grit, it's that excitement. Let me tell you a come-from-behind story from this past weekend, Dan.
Ooh.
I had dinner with my family on Sunday night, and we played a game of Scrabble.
I like it.
And I was in 3rd place for the entirety of the game. And in the last 4 rounds, I scraped and clawed. And I have never felt more euphoria than when I came from behind and won that game. So I can only imagine what Dell's Ducks parents, players, fans, and coaches felt after clawing their way back against the 10th-ranked Hudson Havoc, maybe potentially sealing up a place in a month.
Twice we have put a Midwest West team, in our top 10 power rankings. Twice that team has gone on to be swept by a team that we were arguing about putting in that place. We're all over the place in the Midwest West. They're all over the place. The parity out there is incredible. Every single team can win on every single night from top to bottom in the Midwest West right now. That might be one of the most fun divisions to watch coming down the stretch here. Can't wait to see who makes it into the next power rankings. And if they keep beating each other, nobody will because we don't know who to pick. We're getting afraid to do it. But you know, I got called out by some Dell's Ducks fandom. I got called out. Hank Stelzel A fan on Instagram, a follower of the Dan K Show, reached out on Instagram, posted on one of our posts and said, you don't talk about the Midwest. You don't care about the Midwest. And you know what? That we take that to heart. And that's why we are going out of our way here to do as much as we can. Dan K Show Dailies. We respond to you when you want to be a part of the show. We want to be a part of what you're doing and what the players are doing. Look at this Dells Ducks team, a shutout in Game 1. Getting the shutout in net there, 28 of 28, is Emil Norman. 28 of 28. Nothing normal about Norman there. That's a paranorman performance. Guy played out of his mind. Then you go to Game 2, like Lucas said, down 3-1 with 3 minutes left. Pull the goaltender. Oh, no way. Nobody ever comes back down 2 goals. Nope, 3-2. Okay. Cool, we got a Colton Maynard goal, Stone Stelzel and Nolan Eccles on the assist. Oh, here comes Stone and Nolan again to Alec Scarcella, tied up. 2 goals, 30 seconds. 1 second on the clock. 1 second on the clock. Guess who scores? Gino Semeniuk with a big-time goal, and the Dells Ducks beat the Hudson Havoc, and Havoc reigns supreme in the Midwest West. What a weekend. What a series by the Dells Ducks, Lucas. Who's the best team in that Midwest West at this point?
You know, you have no idea. You know, you're looking around at some of these teams, and the records are pretty close. The top, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams are within 6 points of each other.
Seriously.
At that point, at this point in the season, any one of those teams, you win a couple of games in a weekend, or you go to one of these showcases and you get a 4 or 5 game sweep. Look what a 4 game sweep did to the Skipjacks last year at the Winter Showcase.
Winter Showcase, yeah.
They
came in and swept it up.
Swept 4 wins. You get 4 or 5 wins in one of these showcases. That's upward mobility, you know. So you have to take advantage of those big chunks of games that you got. And you know, I think at this point it's anybody's division.
Anybody's division, but you know who is a team that I think this league may just be theirs if they keep playing as well as they did when I went and saw them this weekend. The New York Aviators. We're going to come back with a little New York Aviators discussion on the Dan K Show.
First, I got some Aviators Hockey Club El Capitans here. Jeets was the Yankees El Capitan, but these gentlemen captain the ship of the Aviators Hockey Club. Let's introduce ourselves.
Name's Andrew Dreher.
Name's Dylan Milliron.
Egan Wolford.
Dieter Stang.
I'm going to start with Dr. Dre right now. Dr. Dre, the doctor, is in the house. Mr. Dreher, talk about this Aviators Hockey Club team. Where's the success come from this year?
Good team, you know, good chemistry, good offense, good defense, good goaltending, and you know, we just get it done every night, and you know, we just always love playing hockey with each other, and we love being here at the rink every day.
Talk about that. You hear the love for the game, the love for hockey, right? Talk about the boys in the locker room. What's the mentality like? If somebody's coming to join you guys with the Aviators, what's the mentality like?
We got a really good chemistry in the locker room, and so we're really inviting. We actually had a new guy come in here recently, and we're just welcoming him in. As long as he works hard, puts in the work, we're really open to having a new guy come on board.
Talk to me about number 1 team, my hockey rankings, number 1 team. What's that feel like?
I think it's amazing. I mean, a lot of the guys aren't coming from programs that, you know, did much last year.
Yep.
So it's a really big thing for all of us that we come together and, like, you know, make a championship team, hopefully.
Let me talk to you. The Dan K Show does a little bit of a power rankings each and every month, and we put you guys at number 4 at the premier level. Talk to me about how do you guys put yourself at number 1 in our rankings and really put on a show for us today on the ice?
You know, we just work hard, you know, and I don't really care if we're number 1 or 4. I don't care what you guys say, but I think we're the best, so.
Now that was just a clip from an interview that Dan had from the past weekend. If you want to watch the rest of it and all of the interviews that we've had this season for a bunch of teams, you can actually go to the Dan K Show YouTube page. That's right, there's another YouTube page you're going to have to subscribe to and hit that little bell while you're there.
Yep.
You can see our interviews from past seasons. You can see some of our off-season antics. And of course, you'll see on the 2018-2019 season interviews playlist all the interviews that we've done throughout this year.
Yeah, you also see some bloopers from us, and you know what? One thing that I got to see with this New York Aviators team this weekend is just their ability to score. This team absolutely floored me with their ability to score. One guy who I really like there, playing a middle centerman position there, middle line guy, Dr. Dre, Andrew Dreher. Guy played with the Hitmen Premier, now playing with the New York Aviators. Andrew Dreyer is somebody who really gets everything done for you. You know, he can play on any line, play the penalty kill, play the power play. He had a succession there, back-to-back shifts where he was on a penalty kill, killed a minute and a half almost by his lonesome, carrying the puck down the ice, spun back, exited the zone, dumped it deep. Puck coming down, steals it at center ice, fires it deep again, races down after it on a forecheck, plays it against the boards. Killed about a minute and a half of the penalty kill, goes to the bench, comes back out in his next shift and scores a goal in the first 20 seconds. And when you see a guy who can do all that, it's next level. When you see a guy like Kevin Lillström-Stenroos, when you see the Ledenkov brothers, Philemon Ledenkov, who had the Apple hat trick, 3 assists, the amount of scoring, I made a joke on the broadcast, and I think it was actually serious. Lucas wasn't able to make it this weekend. He had reasons for it, but I think it was solely because of how much offense was going to be in that room, and he cannot look at that many goals.
I don't like offense. Goal scoring is very flashy, far too flashy. You only really need 1 goal. So if you're the Aviators, do you think you're being a little greedy maybe? 111 goals on the season?
This game actually also broke producer Lena's normal routine of posting pictures of all the goal scorers from a game. There were too many goal scorers in this game to fit into one Instagram post, so it had to become 2. That's just how good of a show the Connecticut Junior Rangers and New York Aviators put on for us, especially the flashiest man on the planet, Dan Kay. Great work by the Aviators, and with that, we go to another Premier squad. Let's keep it in the Premier. Before we're going to go to NCDC after this, but we're going to go one more Premier squad here. Twin City Thunder time, Lucas. Let's talk Twin City.
Yeah, we're heading up there this weekend. We're going to be up there Friday doing a whole bunch of stuff from that rink. So if you're watching this now, make sure you're tuned in. I think all day, almost all day Friday, we're going to be hitting a radio station at 10 to 12 in the morning. Then we'll be doing some on-ice stuff, some interviews. And then we'll be handling the broadcast for that game. That's going to be a later game during the day. And actually a very special night for the Twin City Thunder. They're doing a pink night as a cancer donation and fundraiser night. So we are very excited to be included in that. We've been working with Bill David and all of their sponsors, which have been so generous, working with the team, working with us, trying to get this all happening. And, we're super excited about that team. They do a lot of charity work, throughout the season, and they're planning a lot of things. And, we'd like to be able to highlight some of those organizations a little bit later, in the year. I know the winter's a big time for a lot of that charity work, but going to their on-the-ice play, Dan, you had an interesting statistic that you pulled for us.
Yeah, so a statistic that I pulled here from a couple different sources is the #1 strength of schedule in all of hockey at the Tier 3 level goes to the Twin City Thunder. That's of every league, everywhere. The Twin City Thunder have played the most difficult strength of schedule. And you may be saying to yourself, if you're a Twin City Thunder fan or supporter, hey Dan, you're the host of the Dan K Show. Maybe you should have pulled that stat before doing the power rankings. And what I would say to you is, you're completely right. But do I ever admit fault? No. What I do is I pivot and I start again. And that's where I'm starting here, We're starting with the Twin City Thunder team that just beat the New Hampshire Monarchs, who were number 9 in our top 10 power rankings, and are playing in what we think might be the division with the most depth in the Premier. I'd say the New England has the most depth, top to bottom. Every single team can win a title in that New England right now. And Twin City has played everybody in the New England. They haven't gotten outside the division yet. I can't wait to see where they go. And Friday's game against New Hampshire, if they can beat them back-to-back times, that's huge.
Yeah, and the one thing that I like about the Twin City Thunder is their ability to get the assist, not just on even strength, but on power play opportunities. You look at a guy like Nick Malik, who's a right defenseman, getting involved in the goal scoring. 3 goals, 13 assists, but on the power play, 6 power play assists. Yep. That's that two-way defenseman, and as much as I like to say the goal scoring is flashy, I love when the defensemen get involved, right? Because it means that you've got an offense that's clicking, it's working together. You love to see that puck movement. It's that intelligent power play opportunity.
Yeah, and you want to talk about flashy, as Lucas talked about, it's going to be pink in the rink. We're going to have an absolutely incredible time supporting breast cancer awareness and trying to raise money and raise money with the 50-50 raffle they'll be doing as well, and some Chuck-a-Puck and everything else. Just wait to see flashy when you see what Dan K is wearing on Friday night. It has not arrived yet, but I have an outfit that is on its way that will make Lucas possibly just leave the broadcast completely when I show up on Friday morning.
I'm pretty excited for it. I'm also excited to see a new player. Alex Steiner. He's a year 99 two-way forward with both speed and size. We're getting the inside scoop here. We love talking to these teams. We love talking to parents and coaches because they give us this information, and it's the kind of thing where talking to these guys from Twin City, they're like, you didn't put us on your power rankings this time.
Yep.
But with our strength of schedule, we're refocusing. We're doubling down twice as hard. We're grabbing new guys.
Yep.
We're strapping up. We're getting ready to go. He's like, you better watch out for us. We're going to make you regret not putting us on the power rankings.
Exactly, and you look in that area there in Maine, and this is the team. This is the gold star, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is if you had to put 5 stars on one of the restaurants in the area that is a hockey team, they're the one by far. They're really playing well right now. They're starting to turn that thing around, and as we see in junior hockey, there's 4 different teams that you are throughout a year. There is day 1. There is after October 31st. There is the team after you get out of winter break. And there is the team you are when you reach the postseason. Hopefully, for every team, you'll want to reach the postseason. But there are 4 teams in junior hockey, and the game changes, the players change. These are young athletes, and they get better as the year goes on. Some of them lose focus as the year goes on. And you're trying to just battle that as a coach. And that's where this Twin City Thunder team has a lot of room where they can grow. They got a goaltender in Jackson Friedman who's got a .936 saves percentage. This team can go anywhere he takes them as well. Going to be fun to watch Twin City down the stretch. The Thunder are booming, and the New Hampshire Monarchs hope to not be thunderstruck on Friday night with Dan K. Show, Dan K. and Lucas Jones in attendance there calling the game. It's going to be fun. We hope you tune in all day long. We'll have stuff on social media for you, stuff on the radio, stuff everywhere. But now, let's move to a quick little NCDC standings rundown.
Want Dan K and Lucas Jones to come to your town? Follow Dan and Lucas on Twitter. Dan at Dan_Kamichik and Lucas Jones at LJones1138 # The Dan K Show. Get more of The Dan K Show on their YouTube channel.
Welcome back, folks. It's time for a quick NCDC rundown. So the graphics coming up, and let's get started. The top 3 teams right now, Junior Bruins, Jersey Hitmen, New Jersey Rockets. Bruins and Hitmen are tied, but the Bruins have a game in hand on the Hitmen. We'll see how that shakes out as we move into the season. But those Rockets are hot on their tail, on the back of their offense, keeping things alive, keeping things fresh. They're just 2 points behind the tied Hitmen and Bruins. Moving down the list to 4, 5, and 6, we've got the Bandits and the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs tied at 21 points each. Goal differentials nearly identical. These are 2 extremely balanced teams who I think are going to be fighting it out for 4th and 5th as we move towards the middle of the season. But let's not forget that 6th place team, the South Shore Kings, coming in there with where they get that offense going. I think they'll be moving up a little bit more. They've got 20 points at 10 and 8.
Then, Lucas, you go down a list here and you see the Syracuse Stars, Connecticut Junior Rangers, and Northern Cyclones. And these are teams 19, 18, and 17 points respectively. The Connecticut Junior Rangers were high up in the league. They've been dealing with injuries. They'll go as far as Max Kuznetsov takes them. This is a young man who I think you're going to see a lot more scoring from in November and December. He's got a lot to show for you. Noah Strawn, some of the folks in Connecticut have a lot more to say. Northern, we all know what the Northern Cyclones can do defensively. If they can figure out the offensive game, they'll be in good shape. We move down the list, 10, 11, and 12, IHC, Rochester, and PAL. 3 teams not used to being towards the bottom of the list. This is what we talk about. Junior hockey, 4 seasons, right? First 2 months, then at the holiday break, then when you get into spring, and then finally in the playoffs. Those are the 4 teams you'll be. I think these 3 teams have a lot of improving they can do, and you'll see some coaching staffs making some moves to get IHC, Rochester, and PAL involved as the year goes on.
And, there's one thing to look for down at IHC, Dan. It's that low amount of penalties and that great defense. One of the best defenses in that 6 through 12 in the standings. Watch out for IHC. They're primed for a move up this list.
Welcome to the Empty Net. Welcome Welcome to our favorite portion of every show. For the 12th time this year, we get to have the empty net, the chance for the goaltender to leave the net and the flashy goal scorers like myself to throw one in, or the defensive-minded guys to maybe pitchfork a puck out of the zone and it slides its way on between the pipes. It's a chance to pad the stats, and we pad the stats with you each and every week. Starting here, Lucas, I want to start with Jim Lee. Jim Lee tweeted to us, and he tweeted us and South Shore Kings, and he said, great to see some OHA Europe. Actually, he retweeted this from Okanagan Hockey Europe. Some Okanagan Hockey Europe alumni there in assistant captains. You had Chris Lee along with his assistant captain there, both playing with the South Shore Kings, both captains. Absolutely great work there. Okanagan Hockey Europe, seeing that European flair in the USPHL. Then, Lucas, I see Max Loga there that you just scrolled down to. Oh, you're scrolling up again away from Max Loga. There's Max again that you scrolled right past. I'll talk about Max Loga because Lucas is moving up and down past him on his screen.
We have so many notifications I can't actually
Max Loga is the giant Hampton Roads Whaler player who is committed to Lebanon Valley. Congrats to Max Loga. We just got that sent to us. Max, hot off the presses, going to Lebanon Valley College to play college hockey. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep going. The Detroit Fighting Irish, Coach Pete, reached out to us and let us know about Caleb Williams and Zach Perry, as well as Dalton Cummings, who had an incredible week for the Detroit Fighting Irish. Detroit Fighting Irish, a team down the stretch in this Midwest East. I can't wait to see what they can do.
Yeah, it should be interesting. The Midwest Division is such a favorite, I know personally, of mine, and I assume as much for Dan as well, because every team's in the mix. Mm-hmm. There's such great defense. There's great offensive ability there too, and we love seeing all of these teams go deep into the season in terms of their playoff chances.
Then we move to the South Shore Kings. They sent us a goal from Matt Hayes that wound up as a play of the week for the USPHL. Matt Hayes scored the game-winning goal with just 57 seconds into overtime to push the NCDC Kings past the New Jersey Rockets, a Rockets team that loses to nobody. This Kings team wins again. Matt Hayes gets it done again. The Matt Man, Mr. Hayes, Purple Hayes, gets it done. Big time score. Lucas, what a fun week in the USPHL. We have our Dan K Show Holiday Follow Challenge going on right now. And I had Bryce Leader reach out to me from the Hampton Roads Whalers Elite. He wants to win it again. Player from the Hampton Roads Whalers Elite, he said, we'll get the boys going. He said, I love the idea, love what you guys are going for. We want to win it. Maybe we'll end up in Chesapeake, Virginia again.
Yeah, we already know the way. We already know all the great places to stop.
Very long bridge.
Very familiar. Very long bridge makes Dan K very uncomfortable. But then, we've also had some great stuff coming out of Minnesota, and that Midwest division. Might have to fly in a very small plane over a frozen lake. Also makes Dan K very uncomfortable.
No. I will not fly on a prop plane. That will not happen.
All teams that live in hard-to-reach places, please tweet to us, because I would absolutely love to make Dan as uncomfortable as possible for as long as possible.
We did a little hat trade, and this is something I want everyone doing. Let's go. Talk to us here. Reach out. Slide into the DMs. The Hudson Havoc reached out to us, and we did a little hat trade. We've got our Hudson Havoc gear now that will be on set with us every show. Because it was sent to us by the Hudson Havoc, we traded them a flashy Dan K hat for our Hudson Havoc hat. And now the Hudson Havoc will be with us every show. So if you'd like to be with us every show, what do, Lucas?
Oh, you reach out to us.
You reach out to us, and then we can do a little trade again. You can send us some gear, and we can put it somewhere on the set so that your team is with the Dan K Show each and every day. We want to promote you. Lucas, we got a big trip coming up. Final thing before we close the show. I'm going to run through it. You ready for this? This Thursday. Where are we going? New Haven, Connecticut. Who are we talking with? Head coach of the eventual Division III powerhouse, Albertus Magnus College Falcons, Kyle Wallach. Kyle Wallach, a former associate head coach with University of Vermont at Catamount, goes to New Haven, and he is taking over a new Division III program there. Not many times do you see a new collegiate program, and Coach Kyle Wallach will be running that one. We're going to have an exclusive interview with Coach Kyle Wallach that you'll see eventually here. Then, on Friday, we move on up to Maine. We have the Twin City Pink in the Rink night. 10 to 12 will be on radio, local radio Maine. We'll be doing stuff all day on social media. We'll have the game broadcast at 7 o'clock, and we hope you're following along. Then Saturday, we go to New Hampshire. Go to the New Hampshire Monarchs. Talk to Ryan Frew, head coach of the NCDC. We got New Hampshire Monarchs hockey Saturday night, 7 p.m., Tri-Town Ice Arena. Finally, we close out the weekend with the NCDC free game of the week, IHC, taking on the Boston Junior Bruins in beautiful, wonderful Gallant Arena in North Andover, Massachusetts. Lucas, can this weekend get any better?
I don't think so.
It can't. Parting words. I was hoping you'd also say, I don't think so. That would have been a cool way to do it, but those would have been words and it would have counted as a loss. So I don't win this time around, but we thank you. We thank you, Hudson Havoc, for the hat. We thank you, Dan K Show fans, for watching. And we thank you, Hat Hair, for not being too bad after I pulled this hat off on camera. When Dan K's on the mic, it's always hockey night. Keep watching Dan K Dailies, the Dan K Show, and our free Games of the Week on Hockey TV.
Is that a plus-size hat that they sent us?
I don't know, you want to try it on? Go ahead. It's going to be a great golf hat. This thing I'm going to be wearing on the golf course all the time.
Wait.
Well, you got a couple more notches.
I
to
got
go
more
for.
notches. We got to find out who makes these hats.
Well, that one seems like it's from the same company as our hats here, the Dan K Show
I don't know, because
hats.
the Dan K Show hats are not meant for plus-size head models.
Lucas's head is so big that it can't fit this hat.
Every single star of the game has had
Look at-
to tighten their hat.
Look at how easily that fits on my head.
There we go.
It fits on his head. Look at that. Lucas Jones
I have-
can fit in a
I
hat.
have
Plus
two-
size hat
two
model.
notches.
Lucas Jones.